Innovation Unplugged from the Alabama Community College System's Innovation Center takes you inside Alabama's workforce development. Join us for enlightening conversations with community leaders and industry experts showcasing experiences, addressing key issues, and celebrating successes in the workforce initiatives across the state. Hello again. Welcome back to another episode of Innovation Unplugged. It's a production of the AECCS Innovation Center. My name is Houston Blackwood. I'm the workforce director for this group. And today in studio, I have Kaliah Dozier, director of marketing and corporate partnerships. And then online with us, because he is moving a million miles an hour, or as they say in his world, he is Oscar Mike. We have Dr. Ira Jones, who's the colonel and the director of intelligence and security for the Louisiana National Guard. But he also serves as the director of workforce development at Drake State Community and Technical College. Guys, both of you, we're so glad you're here.
We're excited.
Hey, well, thank you so much for having me. I know that it's quite a privilege to get a chance to talk to y'all this morning, so thank you again.
Well, I can assure you, Doc, I don't know if I should call you Doc, Colonel, Ira, Sir.
Ira works great for me.
Okay.
Most people call me Ira because that's my name, so we'll go with that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know many people with the same number of titles you have and accomplishments, and I will say that we've only known each other a short time, and the first 30 seconds that we met, I was like, this guy is serious, and I was so thankful that Drake had brought you onto their team. I could tell right away that once you figured out the direction that you were going to go a million miles an hour, and you have. For sure. And so before we tell that story, let's back it up, Ira, and just talk about where you came from. And we only have about 45 minutes on this show. So maybe not the whole life story, but the relevant parts that brought you here to Alabama, to Drake State. And then we're going to pick up and see what the future says about you.
Okay, well, great. Hey, thank you, Houston, for that opportunity. My story is going to be what actually helped bring me here.
Yeah.
And that is, I grew up fairly poor. I never realized I was poor till I left home and realized how hard my family had worked to keep clothes on my back and food on the table. And I come from a very blue collar family. My father never made it beyond the 7th grade, and my mother earned her GED 6 months before I graduated from high school. And that's how my college career began. I had no intention of going to school. I was not a very good student. I'd planned on enlisting in the military and just serving in the military. And my father approached me. I was the youngest of all the kids, and he said, I never had a kid go to college. He goes, I want you to go to college. And I was like, okay, Dad. And he goes, but I can't pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked 1 full-time and 2 part-time jobs and worked my way through college. And upon graduating, I was commissioned a second lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps and spent 5 years on active duty. And that's where I got my first exposure to realizing just how hard my folks worked.
Mm-hmm.
And they instilled a work ethic in me. I've been working ever since I was 12. And they also taught me a lot about respect. And those two things, hard work and being able to respect others, has taken me far in life. But that also is why, because of my background, that this position was so inviting to me. After I left active duty, I had become a police officer in Champaign, Illinois, and served there just slightly over 6 years, where in addition to being a patrol officer and a field training officer, I was assigned as a SWAT operator and a bomb technician. It was after 6.5 years there, I did a brief stint at Western Illinois University as a supervisor at their police academy, and then was hired by the FBI as a special agent. And the beginning of my career, I started working various criminal offenses, was eventually transferred into the terrorism realm. And once I got off probationary status, spent the rest of my career as a trainer and as a bomb technician. I spent between policing and the FBI 24 years in the field.
Holy cow. Wait a minute. You did all that and then still served 24 years in the FBI? or was that all
I served
combined?
21 years with the FBI. I served roughly 28 years in law enforcement.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. What is
Wow.
that all? Keep going.
With the FBI, I spent my first 13 years in the New Orleans field office, and during that time earned my first master's and started my doctorate. And also in 2008, I had ended up getting back into the service with the Louisiana National Guard. My first deployment actually to Afghanistan in 2005 was as an FBI agent attached to part of my time was with Third SF Group, and the rest of the time was with the Rangers. And I forgot how much I enjoyed being around service members.
Yeah.
And so I decided it was time to get back in. So in 2008, transitioned over to the Louisiana Army National Guard, and been serving ever since. Deployed with them in 2011, and coming up to the last few years of my career with them.
I don't know that we've seen somebody so accomplished. Certainly, we respect all of that and all that service. I didn't know all that.
Me either.
And I'm having a hard time processing the
Mhm.
depth of your experience. I knew you were very accomplished, but I didn't know all that. So forgive my lack of words. That's an uncommon thing for me. This is quite the impressive resume. So how in the world did you get connected to Drake State? And I mean, they're fabulous, but like, what brought you to Alabama to look for this?
Well, my last 8 years with the FBI, I was stationed at Redstone Arsenal
Okay.
at the FBI Hazardous Devices School, where I was brought in as the curriculum manager to develop the curriculum for the few people know that in the United States, there's only two places you can become a bomb technician.
Yeah.
Through military EOD at Eglin Air Force Base, and through Redstone Arsenal for all police, and at every level of law enforcement, local, state, and federal level, and also for firefighters that happen to have a bomb squad. So if they're a bomb technician, they've come through Redstone Arsenal. And so I was familiar with Drake, having lived in the area at the time for 8 years. I retired from the FBI July 29th of 2023 because I was offered an opportunity to come on active duty for a year and go to Carlisle Barracks in Pennsylvania and earn another master's degree in strategic studies. And as I was finishing that year up, I just happened to see the ad for the Director of Workforce Development. And I looked at my wife and I said, I called her up because actually I was a geo bachelor, and I said, hey, I really feel like this is the right place for me. And she was like, well, if you feel that this is the right place, then go headstrong into it, and let's see where it takes us. And I was lucky enough to be selected for a job that I absolutely love.
Yeah. I can see that your attentiveness that first day we were talking about aerospace, and we met with all these companies, and I think Kaylee, you were there.
Mm-hmm.
I was so impressed. So here we are. So let's flash forward now a couple of months. I guess it's been about almost 6 months since that meeting, but we've covered a lot of ground, man. Tell me about your experience transitioning from the military and all of that diverse background into running the workforce department at Drake State. What's that been like for you?
It's been like drinking through a fire hose, to be quite honest.
I can imagine.
I've had to learn a lot, and in a short amount of time. And the only way I was able to accomplish that is with people like you and Kayla from the Innovation Center from day one. I think I met you my second day on the job,
Yeah.
if I remember.
It was very early on, yeah.
And you've all extended a hand of friendship to me, and made me feel comfortable to call you when I just didn't know where to go, because there's been more times that I didn't know which way to go than I knew which way to go. So every time I've needed some assistance, the Innovation Center has been there to offer some guidance, and many times I've even heard you guys say, well, have you thought of, which I learned early on from my senior NCOs, that when somebody approaches you and say, have you thought of, it meant you didn't think of it. And so you probably need to listen.
Well, okay, so maybe that's a fair statement, but the thing is, like, workforce in Alabama, workforce probably anywhere in the country is super complex right now because it's hot and everybody's trying to do it. And then in Alabama, the community college system is moving so fast. And we've seen, at this point, we've seen all of our colleges really do some crazy things and do some incredible projects with fantastic results. So it's easy for us to be like, hey, what about, because we've seen it done in other places. And, maybe you just haven't seen it that way. So certainly you would have come around to it eventually, but we've just seen so much, man. But what happens, so you say that, but then what happens is when we say, have you thought of, like the next day you turn around and get this huge plan, or you've executed it, and then everything is on the shelf and organized and labeled, whatever, it's all done. So maybe the idea hadn't spurred yet, but the action is there. So that's the biggest thing.
Absolutely. And I will say too, we were chatting prior to this, and now I'm almost at a loss for words. I've literally taken a whole page of notes of everything that you've accomplished thus far in your life. And as much as you hit the ground running with Skills for Success, I want to pause and just, we're in the middle of your lab. I'm kind of probably jumping ahead of Houston, but we have so much to learn from you also. So as many suggestions and recommendations that we may have for any course, specifically right now for the flooring, know that we always pivot. We always want to learn and make things better. And Drake is beyond blessed to have you on their team as an advocate for the community. So I'm super excited. I was excited before, but now it's like, okay, what can we learn today on this episode? So just thank you for taking the time to explain all of that to us.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a wonderful experience, and I look forward to a long-term relationship with the both of y'all.
Well, that's certainly the plan for all of us. I think we all love our jobs, and we were talking the other day at Drake in the middle of the laminate, maybe it was the laminate lab, or it might have been the hardwood, but you were talking about your plan, I guess your 5 to 10 year plan, and you can tell that, but I want to frame that story with this question, and a story too, a quick description. So Drake Workforce has had a season of transition. That's a fair way to put it. And they've landed on you, thank goodness. So now, in your experience and all the accomplishments you've had, when you see a unit or a group that's had so much transition and really a lack of purpose, and I'm trying to be fair. I'm trying to cast blame on anything. It's just people have gone and done things, and they've moved away and they've taken different jobs, and so you're here now, and so you see this unit that has all these resources, all this ability. And now you're here on scene, and you've got all this background. So how do you take that situation and use your expertise, all your training, to actually craft it into a high-speed unit that's super high-functioning?
I think that part of that comes from both the planning that I learned from the FBI and from the military. And what that is one of the things that I learned is that I have to represent my dream. And what I mean by that, and that might sound a little corny, but I have a vision for where I want to go. But I understand that at times people may not be ready for that vision as far out as what I'm looking. So I have to quickly assess and find those people that are willing to take that journey with me. And I always approach it from a team concept. If it looks like I'm just trying to beat my chest for my own benefit, nobody's going to help me get there. Mm-hmm. What I need to do is find the people that have the same passion. And then I have to provide short-term goals that everybody can see, especially some short-term wins, quick wins on the board. But I have to make sure that everything aligns. And the hardest part is when you can see the potential, you tend to get anxious to make things happen. And one of the great parts of being older and already being retired is the from one career is um, part of the reason for the lack of stability here at Drake is, and this is not a negative connotation towards anyone. You have to, in the community college or the university systems, you have to work your way through various levels
Yeah.
to rise within the organization.
Mm-hmm.
I took this job with this perspective of the fact that I'm not really worried about my own upward mobility. What I want to do is develop a program over the next 10 years that's self-sustaining with enough continuity that perhaps I'll be fortunate enough to hire somebody that I can train that'll eventually replace me when it's time to retire.
I'm glad you said that. I was those are exact words you told me last week, and I certainly wasn't going to tell your story for you. But I think that when we listen back to this, and Dr. Sims hears this, and I know she knows that about you. You probably told her that too. I think that's going to be music to her ears, our ears. I think to all of ACCS that we got a champion, a fighter who's got lots of life, in the career, but he doesn't need to go anywhere. He doesn't need to build something else. He needs to build this one thing, and then that be his legacy, if you will, on top of other incredible accomplishments. So I love the quick wins, the short-term goals. But in your eyes, what's the 5-year mark? And we say this all the time. What are you toasting to in 5 years? And this is the last question we ask, but I'm curious, in 5 years, what does your division look like? You've got that new building coming. All
which
the
I'm
things.
very excited about.
We'll talk about that in a minute. But in 5 years, what have you accomplished?
In 5 years, one of the things is right now we're a very small directorate, and one of the things that I was not aware of, I was aware my position had been vacant for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
I did not realize my entire directorate was vacant when I took the job. So
the whole department.
part of that is I'm pretty good at playing the harmonica and using the bass drum at the same time, but it does get exhausting. So part of it is actually building a team. And so what I'm hoping is that soon I'll have a coordinator on staff, and then I'd like to, part of, as you're well aware with workforce, you have to justify your existence. So that means building enough partnerships and bringing enough training in to support bringing on additional people. There's not an endless flow of money. The money has to come from somewhere, and that's through our tuition. And that's how we justify building the team. And what I need to be able to do is build a team that we can branch out, and opposed to one or two people trying to turn the ship. If you look at from a Navy perspective, there's many people on the bridge trying to make that ship go, and everybody has a job that they can focus on. And so that's part of my vision, is to slowly build a team over time within the next 5 years that this directorate then turns into its own division.
Love it. So just for the listening audience, I'd say a year ago there was a department of 3, maybe 3.5 at Drake State Workforce. And then one guy took a bigger job at a university. Rock on. We stole another guy to bring him onto our team. And then another lady took a different job. So it went from a very budding and emerging group. They all left. And then there was nothing. And so it was Dr. Henderson did a fantastic job of keeping the ship afloat for a while. And then you came along. So I'd love to hear that. I will say that every college that workforce department that had the same issue, a small department of one, as they have expanded, and I'll say selfishly through Skills for Success, they have grown that productivity and that enrollment and the reimbursements. But they've built that base. Now they're adding 1, 2. Some of them are adding their 3rd and 4th person. So, and that's, they did that. We were along for the ride, but that's the cool thing about Kaliah, we're watching what she does with all the marketing, promoting those stories, promoting that use. And that allows you to say, well, hey, here's our story. Like, here's some numbers, here's some dollars, here's some, things we did, but then also here's our story in the community. What's that like Kaliah, when you got, like, I think of Chad Sutton, who was a Department of 1 for a while, then Department of 2, now he's got 3. There's David Cole, same thing at Reed State. What's it like to tell that story to help these folks grow?
We constantly have goosebumps by all of the heartfelt stories that we get. And I'm going to give Daniel on your team, Owen, a plug, because he jumped right in that first meeting that we had. And he honestly had not he had heard about Skills for Success, been a part of, outward conversations, but this was the first time that you guys were part of a pilot. And so I remember us having a conversation. He was like, hey, thank you. Like, this gives me an opportunity to connect with Ira. You were literally day 2. And so he literally ran with it. And so I say to you, use him as part of an extension of your team. Obviously, we preach that all the time for our workforce departments, to love on their marketing division and lean on them for their expertise, because you are doing so much, and they have the platform and the voice to get those success stories out there. And then we have the opportunity to enhance and magnify that on a statewide level. You're focused on your community and getting the word out there. But our job as the Innovation Center is to be the microphone for the rest of the state, so that they know what's going on around Drake State. A lot of people maybe in the South don't know where Drake State is and all the things. And so all of those stories begin to pile and begin to reach people where they are, and Alabama residents are seeing themselves in all of these individual success stories. And so if we are not told, we have no idea what's really happening within the community. So if anything, just the smallest things of maybe how someone's life changed just because they had the opportunity to take a Skills for Success course, or obviously upward mobility within employment. And we're super excited to see where this flooring pilot goes. I think we have currently 5 individuals going through, and this is the longest course when it comes to labs. And I think that there's a sweet element of everyone getting to know each other a little bit more and those stories building. So I'm interested to see what kind of success stories come out of that. But just know that we are an extension of your team, and we are ready to be your microphone so that we can showcase your success.
Well, first of all, I couldn't agree with you more about Daniel. His help has been invaluable to me. Matter of fact, one of the things that we did was created a workforce calendar that I put updates just in case I think I told him something.
I like it.
I didn't. He's able to track my movements as far as things that I have going on, just so that he can always be able to anticipate what the next thing is. And so we've had great communication, and at times when I'm trying to decide which way I want to go with something, he's been a great sounding board, and always looking at where the good news story is in whatever we're trying to do. So I'd first like to give that shout out as well to Daniel. He's been an incredible partner in all of this. And I would like to briefly talk about Skills for Success, though, because what many people don't realize is Skills for Success is really the lifeblood that helps Drake State workforce development survive. And the reason that I say that is 93% of the students here at Drake State, whether it's the traditional credit path or the non-credit workforce path, are on some sort of grant or scholarship. And almost all of that, what does that equate to? Well, that is because we specifically look, and this is something that goes with Dr. Patricia Sims, our president's belief that we have to find ways of making sure that students aren't going further in debt, trying to get out of debt, because you never get out of that cycle. So those that are financially challenged, this gives them the opportunity to take classes because, for instance, Skills for Success has put forth this pilot for the flooring course. Those 5 individuals probably would not have been able to afford this course. if they had not been given the opportunity through the state. And so that is truly a hand up. Some people talk about handouts. This is a hand up because a handout keeps you where you're at. A hand up moves you to your next set of skills with life-changing opportunities.
You're right. That group is so for the listening audience. There's our flooring lab is actually our pilot is actually 4 different sections: hardwood, laminate, tile, and carpet. Not in that order. So the students are coming for 4 weeks on Thursday, Friday each week, and some of them staying overnight. One gentleman comes in from Tuscaloosa, so it's a 2.5 hour drive for him. He's coming in on Wednesday night or maybe early Thursday morning, but staying Thursday night. He has 8 children. And he is a flooring dealer, but he came to the course to try to figure out if it works for him. And so that guy's taking time out of his own life. And then that group also, there's a retired nurse turned tiny home contractor. There's another lady who's thinking about doing her own handyman job. I don't know what the term is. I'm trying to be respectful, but she wants to be able to fix things and get paid to do it. And so, but it's really cool. Tell us what that dynamic is like in that group. I think Kayla referenced it, but these folks, they've spent now 32 hours together. They've eaten together, they work together, they've sweat together. You've got a retired Army veteran in that group trying to figure out his next stage in life. So what's that been like to watch those students? And they're grown folks, by the way. None of them are young. What's it been like to watch them?
Well, it's always fun to watch a group, especially the first week when they're trying to feel each other out, and everybody's overly nice. Now they've gotten to the point, of course, that they're poking fun at each other and having a good time, and you can tell that they have grown as a team. Now they're helping each other out. If they see somebody that's making a mistake, they feel comfortable to be able, hey, don't forget this, or don't forget to do that. And it's not taken offensively either, because they realize that they're all trying to build one another up. And it is a great dynamic there. The transitioning nurse, one of the other parts of her story is her house recently burnt down. And so she's completely recovering. The veteran's a disabled vet that is making his transition off of active duty into a whole new career field. So it is really, it's touching to see how they've grown as from total strangers to friends that I'm going to go out on a limb and say that they're going to continue to talk with one another well past this as they build each other up as they make this transition.
I could see that very first day, there were some of them that made some pretty good bonds. And then watching them the other day, I was there just briefly, but I could tell they had developed already into that wordless communication. Like they had the nonverbal, like handing of tools, and like I saw some people, they were spreading out the glue, and it was an 8-foot square they're working in, and one guy was, I think it was Jamin, was doing his glue, and then he couldn't reach it, and Marva just picked it up, and we just almost seamlessly went straight to it, and never said a word to each other, and it was the coolest thing. It's like they'd known each other for 20 years. And that's this is a unique lab because you're going to spend a lot of time with each other. You've done a good job. What was it like for you getting that bundle of, hey, here's the flooring pilot, Ira, run it. Because we were there, we've been with you a lot and answered, all your questions and happy to do it. But what was it like for you when we handed that to you? And please be honest.
One of the things is I had to swallow the brief moment that I felt like, hey, this would be a good time to panic. No. And so I started thinking, okay, what are the things that we can do? What are the things that we have gaps? And once I started identifying the gaps, that's where I started burning up your phone, Matt, Tom's phone, trying to figure out what could we do, and also had some great support from Kay Whitner there at the Floor Covering Education Foundation, which is a wonderful partner that we have in all this. And she even, one of the areas that if you haven't been to Drake, that you don't know is we're under a lot of construction here, which means that we don't have a lot of extra space.
Yeah.
And she was even able to find a partner in the industry that allowed us to ship the materials for the class to their warehouse to hold for us until we needed it for the actual class. And just little things like that is what helped. Was anytime I got to another point where I felt momentarily overwhelmed, I took a step back and I reached out to either you, Kay, or somebody else from the Innovation Center, and everybody had the networking already established where there was always an avenue that we could accomplish what we needed to. And so I will say that one of the things is being a strategic planner. It was difficult for me to quickly wrap around my mind around how are we going to put this on this quick, because we went from waiting for the theory portion to be ready to, hey, we're going right to lab. So we advertised for 1 week.
Oops.
And gave the students 1 week to get that accomplished, and they rose to the occasion. But what it did show me is, even though I like to plan things out, I had a group of people that I could count on to help me no matter what, if something suddenly pops up, because that's what you and the team absolutely did. I mean, you, Matt and Tom showed up here and helped me fabricate those platforms. Because if you've never seen a cow looking at a new fence, that was me looking at that lumber, trying to figure out how I was going to fabricate those by myself. And it was you that put the calendar invite, you just let me know that you guys were coming to help me. I think that you probably sensed the stress that I was feeling from that. And, I thank you for the fact that you guys rose to the occasion and knocked it out in a couple of hours. And that took an immense amount of pressure off of me.
Yeah, there's no way a single person could have built those things. They're heavy. And it's like 4 by, well, they're 8 by 8, so they're 4 by 8, in halves. But yeah, well, I saw that, but we also move fast, and we expect a lot. We move too fast. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes we're
lightning speed.
Like we're dumb for moving so fast. But
we make it work.
We make it work.
We make it work.
But what you did is you said, okay, and I love that you said you took a step back and asked questions. And I think it's Jocko Willink in his podcast always talks about take a step back, take a deep breath, and look around and reassess. And certainly I have no military experience, but hearing that, when I get stressed out, I do the same thing, and this team does too. But I'm glad that you saw that, and I'm glad you took all the questions that you did and asked them to, because it's been phenomenal. When we get done with this thing, you're going to have crafted this lab to make it as perfect as it possibly can be. So then when we hand it off to the whole state, and this is one of those courses, it's not hard to do. It's hard work, but this is going to have a huge impact around the state for construction companies, young people.
In this, for our listeners, and even for you, Ira, I know you've had a little bit of glimpse into how this course came about, but you referenced Kay, and she has been a champion for this course. She is the one who initially had the idea and met with another member of the system office, Gary Weaver, and brought this idea. And we've had multiple meetings over a year probably at this point. And so I know that when she hears this episode, but also right now beaming ear to ear, because she will text me and say, hey, send me those pictures from the lab. We are so excited. Tell me the stories, all the things. And so this is going to be a full circle course.
Yeah.
This is where her foundation is on a national level. This is the first organization that we've been able to support on a national platform, bringing it to Alabama. She does work all over the Southeast and across the country, but specifically in Alabama. We're excited that we're able to be a part of that model. And then the fact that Drake State is the pilot for this is setting the tone for every community college in the state. And so that's a big deal. And I know you know that, but we want our audience to know that that's a big deal too. And so we hope within 6 months we can come back and say, hey, look at all of these lives that have been changed, or look how many colleges have delivered this. And the cool thing is that this course also can be coupled with multiple other skills for success courses for different bundles. And that just means more opportunities within your community to deliver training for that hand up, for those upskilled employees. So we're ready.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I'd like to key on, just so that the viewers can fully understand, even though we did move fast, they have to understand that there are reasons for that. And one of the things is when you're piloting, at times you're going to have to rush into a pilot, because until that pilot's complete and we can do a quick top to bottom check on where our sustains are and where we need to improve, we can't release that to the rest of the state, which means that we're hamstringing the whole rest of the state, and everybody is waiting on that one thing to happen. So at times you just have to lean forward.
Yeah.
There's not always the best situation, but what it does is afford the opportunity to touch lives throughout the entire state. So you have to look at the bigger picture, and you can't be myopic in your look of, oh, well, we rushed this. Well, we still accomplished it. And from that, we have a lot of great feedback that is going to shorten the time frame before the entire state can have access to this. So taking, once again, and that taking the step back and looking at the 30,000-foot view is understanding that at times, yes, things happen very, very quickly. Why? Because it later will benefit everybody when we're able to make those little corrections and move forward.
Well, you're exactly right, and that's I love that analogy, or that thought process of moving fast, test it, and then refine. So we are, unfortunately, we are a little bit close to the end, and so I always hate this. It seems to move so fast, but in a brief moment, what's next for Drake State as far as your workforce overall? You got a new building coming up. What's happening? What does the world need to know about Drake State?
Well, first of all, I'm going to key on the new building. I can't wait for that to be up and running. I got to go a couple of months ago to Gadsden campus and got to see it, and I believe Sneed's just opened up last week. So excited for them as well. But with that, we plan on being able to have more course offerings as we build our workforce. We're getting ready to launch another Huntsville Utilities that I spoke with you about, and Daniel and I are going to start advertising on graduation days our first media release about cohort 2 for the flooring that we plan on starting in late January, and then we're going to really hit a hard rush beginning 1 December, and then remind everybody after the holidays that's coming up, so that we can start with the theory portion at the end of January and roll right in through that. And then one of the things that I shared, I believe, with you, Houston, is during the fall and the spring terms, I'm looking at those non-traditional students, those people that already have jobs, and I'm trying to push things to nights and weekends to be able to help those people upskill. And then we will focus the summer terms on those fresh high school graduates that are not wanting to incur college debt, and they want to get out into the workforce, and we're going to make that avenue happen for them.
That concept, I've been thinking about that off and on. You're taking the daytime for the incumbent workers who are getting paid to do it. You're doing the non-traditional hours at night for those who are working other jobs, the training for a different job, and then you're setting up a targeted time for the high school seniors to get in with those who don't have a plan when they graduate. And I don't know another division of the workforce that needs to be served there. And that's going to be an incredible approach. And I think it's going to take you some time to develop that. But once you get that model, people are going to respond to that, and the way you deliver, you're going to see incredible growth there. I believe it.
Well, thank you. I'm excited. And once again, I could not do it without the support of the Innovation Center.
Well, we thank you for that. We'll take your compliment, but we are just a bunch of ideas and products, and you guys are the ones that deliver, around the state, all the colleges. So without you guys to deliver it, we're just a bunch of ideas, really, a bunch of dreams. So we do need to go. Dr. Ira Jones, International Man of Mystery. Can we call you the Dos Equis man, the most interesting man in the workforce?
Well, you can call me that, but I've never found myself that interesting. So thank you for the compliment.
Yeah, well,
I have 2 pages of notes that says otherwise.
yeah.
So.
I'm on my second page too. My pages are bigger than Kayla's, and so there's a lot of information coming from you. But can't wait to see what happens. Can't wait, man. It's gonna be exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Sims is lucky to have found you. We're lucky to have you on our team, and can't wait. So.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to talk to y'all, and I look forward to when we get together again.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. Kayla, close us out.
All right. Thanks for joining us again on another episode of Innovation Unplugged. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on all social media platforms. Have a great day.